Hey, hello everyone. How are you? Can you say hi on the chat so that we can talk a little bit until we get started? Um, if you say hi, I can help you out. Otherwise, we can just get started. I know that today is Saturday and it's a difficult day for everyone to join, but if there is no question, I will just get started. Hello, can you say hi? So, hello, Sectrace. Do you have any career question challenge? Hello, Pim. Nice to see you here, man. So, Sectrace. Hello, George. Awesome. If you can say where you're from, it's better so that I can get started. Can you say one career challenge question you have now? Sectrace or George or Pim? So, and if you can say where you're from, oh, awesome, Romania. I have some friends that live in Bucharest, the Netherlands. Yeah, awesome. Philippines. Oh, that's awesome. You're the first one from Philippines that are participating in the webinar. So that's awesome. Hello, Maximilian. Awesome. It's a pleasure to have you here as well. Hello, David from Brazil. Also, awesome. Okay. Awesome. Two people from Brazil. I'm also from Brazil, but I'm living in Ireland, specifically in Dublin. So if you can say what are your career challenges, maybe we can get started. So, okay, Sectrace just sent a question. It can be anything about your career, Pim. It can be related to Java. It can be related to learning new technologies. It can be related to whatever you want. That you any challenge, anything that you are struggling in your career right now. So Sectrace has a question. I'm having an issue with my career. I don't know if I want to go to an architect path or management path. So I have a simple question for you, Sectrace. Do you like to deal with people? Do you like to manage different people? Do you like to organize things? You have to ask those questions. Well, one simple tip I can give you is to try out. Maybe you can try out for some time to be a manager, and then you can try out to be an architect. The thing is, if you prefer the technical area, if you prefer to be a technical person, for sure, for you, it will be more interesting to be an architect. And if you want more the area of dealing with people and organizing things and dealing with CSV sheets and dealing with hiring, dealing with conflicts, all of those things, then you should be a manager. But if you really want to continue in the technical track of your career, for sure I would recommend you to be an architect instead, because as a manager, okay, there are some companies that you can do some technical things, but most of the companies you won't. So if you become a manager, you won't be able to work as a software engineer in other places. You might be able still, but it's going to be far harder for you. When you are not practicing software development, you get behind far more easily rather than if you are working with software development actively. So you have to think about those things. Do you prefer the technical side or the people side? If you are a more people person, then management for sure. I am more technical, so I would prefer to go to some other. I would prefer the technical role. So it's up to you. It's up to what you want in your career. So you have to reflect and think about it. So if you are more technical, architect. If you are more of a people person, you become a manager. Okay, so George has another question, and let me know if that answers your question, Stack Trace. How can I find my focus? Could you give you tips? Yes, Maximilian. So one thing that helped me out to find my focus is to create the focus phrase. I learned that from Bruno Souza, the Java man. So basically, I create a focus phrase in the structure I'm gonna send here to you. So basically, I have my focus phrase is that I help Java developers to use the full power of Java to build high quality code for a stress-free project with fewer bugs. So in my focus, I solve the bugs problem with high quality code, with better programming practices. So you can start doing that. You can say, I help what? You help what? You help managers, you help Java developers, you help. So what is your audience? My audience are Java developers. So if you want to help Java developers, so you want to help them with what? You want to help them with scalability. What problem are you going to solve? There are several problems in the market. There is the problem of, for example, bugs that I am solving. There is the problem of scalability. There is the problem of performance. So there are a lot of problems that we have to solve for companies, right? There is the security problem. That's a huge thing. So if you can provide solutions with these problems that you can solve, then you can be hired by the best companies, because it doesn't matter that you know one technology very well. What matters is what problem you can solve. So for example, if you can create a mobile app in, I don't know, 30 days in a cross-platform way, that would be a great problem to solve. That would be a great thing to improve. So yeah, so PM is in security. So yeah, you can have this focus. For example, you can help. I don't know. I help Java developers to implement more secure code. You could maybe teach some security tips or security code techniques, so that you could help Java developers to create more secure software. That's a huge problem. And I read in a research that the security area will get more and more demanding. So if you know security very well, you can solve problems of a lot of people. Because you know that if there is a breach in a company might be even bankrupt. So security is a big deal. It's a big thing. It's complex. It's a big area, and it's certainly something that it's worth it to focus on. So you can pick what problem do you want to solve. Do you want to solve the problem of creating a very high quality user experience front-end layer? You have this problem as well. Every company needs a very useful interface. So maybe you can focus on JavaScript, you can focus on Angular, you can focus on React. So there are a lot of things to focus on. So you have to decide what you want to do. You want to deliver software in a better way, where developers don't have to care about doing anything with software delivery. You can do that as well. So there's a lot of areas. There is the automation area, there is security, there is the bugs area. And anyway, there's a lot of things that we can focus on. The thing is that if we try to do everything, we end up doing nothing. So that's why to have focus is very important. But have a focus to solve a problem. Don't have a focus to just because just for having a focus. Like, you have to solve a specific problem that is demanding in the market and that developers are interested in. Otherwise, if nobody is interested in your focus, it's not worth it. So let me know if that explains and give you an idea about focus, Maximilian, so that I can understand if I helped you. We have more questions here. One other thing that is that there are a lot of resources online, even offline with books. How can I filter some of those and choose the best resources? That's a very good question, George, because there's so many crap content on the internet. So what I recommend you is to follow some technical references on Twitter. They will indicate to you some resources that are good. Well, what you can do, you can also look for articles that from people that you trust, because there are plenty of articles that are saying, okay, those courses here are very good to learn microservices or to learn Java. So you can look for those articles. For example, what are the best courses to learn Spring, for example? What are the best ways to learn Java more deeply so that I can get certification for Java 11? So one way for you to know better if you are studying from reliable sources, you can look for articles where they have a list of the best resources where you can learn. That will massively help you. So that's one way to know if you are studying from good places. Yes, that would be amazing already, George. I also recommend you to read books, because books that take your skills to another whole level. So it's great to learn from courses, from documentation, to learn from articles, but books are also powerful. And for example, I recommend books from Kent Beck, from Martin Fowler, and Anna Bob. I know those are very obvious names, but those books are very good. And I also recommend the Domain-Driven Design, for example. It's amazing. And regarding those things about where you can study, I also created an article about that. I have there a big list, a long list, talking about the courses you can take for microservices, for example. You can take a look on the Java Challengers website. There is an article I created there. It's the microservices course list. And I also have another article where you can check the long-lasting benefits books there, where you can see the Uncle Bob books and the Kent Beck books. So you can learn a lot there. And another thing that is powerful about long-lasting benefits books, it's because they stand the time test, right? So they don't become obsolete very quickly. So if you are good in code techniques, you'll be good in any language, because the fundamentals will work for any language. That's why I always reinforce developers to learn about fundamentals and not about frameworks or specific things, because if you learn fundamentals, you can easily migrate from one language to another, or you can easily migrate from one framework to another framework. You can easily migrate from cloud provider to cloud provider. So that's the power of fundamentals. Awesome. Any other questions? Okay, guys. So we are 14 minutes here already talking, but I'm going to go to the main content of this webinar. And in the meantime, please send your questions in the chat so that we can work on your questions, that I can answer to your questions. And then we can overcome your career challenges together, okay? And also, if you have any questions about the slides or about any topic I'm talking in the webinar, just send the question on the chat, because then I will be back in the chat and I will answer one question each, okay? So I'm gonna just start sharing my screen here. Share screen. Okay. Can you see my screen, guys? Just say yes if you can see my screen. Okay, I can see my screen here, so I can get started. Okay, guys, so today we're gonna be exploring the 10 deadly mistakes that get Java developers stuck in their careers. So they are not exactly technical mistakes, but with those mistakes will also affect your technical skills. So basically those are ideas and insights to get your Java skills to another whole level. Not only Java, your ability to solve problems and your ability to deal with challenging situations in your career. So let's go to the next slide. I'm gonna just give you a brief of what we're gonna be talking here. We're gonna be discussing about the problem of not having a big dream. When we don't have a big dream, we don't take the action to go to the next level, right? Not take responsibility. When we don't take responsibility, we give away our power to someone else. Not having a mentor. When we don't have a mentor, we lose time. So we don't grow so quickly. About not caring about your health. If we don't care about your health, we can't. We have low level of energy. Lack of focus. It's exactly what we were discussing in the beginning of this webinar. So if we have lack of focus, we try to do everything and we end up doing nothing. Not tracking your goals. So what's the problem of not tracking your goals? When we don't track our goals, we don't know exactly our progress. And by consequence, we usually end up not doing the work, because if we feel that we are not having progress, we do nothing. Not smart working hard. If we work just smart, it doesn't matter. If we work only hard, it doesn't matter as well. I'm gonna go deep into that later. Not optimize your time. We have so much dead time that we don't even realize. Why not transforming this dead time into learning time so that you can take your knowledge and your career to a whole new level? Not using deliberate practicing is a very powerful technique to go to the maximum level you can possibly get in a skill. And not taking action, because if you don't take action, nothing that I'm talking to you here will work, and all will be useless. So taking action is very important. So the first one is to not have a big dream. So what is the problem of not having a big dream? When we don't have a big dream, we don't take action, because when we don't have a big dream, the first thing is that we don't even believe in ourselves, right? So why should I even do the work if I don't even believe in myself? So that's the problem. That's why it's so important to dream big, because when you dream big, then you do the work. Then you participate in this webinar on Saturday, for example. So you could be doing something else. You could be, I don't know, watching Netflix. You could be watching a movie. You could be playing games. You could be in the park now. But no, you are here to improve your career, to become better. So if you are here, I already consider you that you believe in your dreams. You believe that you can be better. So that's amazing. Another question is, Why not you? So many people are feel a bit guilty to dream big, but if you dream big, it doesn't mean that you are greedy. It means that you want to bring massive value to the world. And when you do that, it's a good thing. You're not being greedy. You are instead being someone who wants to help more, who wants to get to your full potential so that you can help more and you can bring more values to companies or to people. So why not you? It can be you as well. A dream is also not magic. A dream won't happen all of the sudden. A dream will happen with consistency and with massive action that you take. If you don't take any action, if you if you think that things will happen magically, that if you think that only by working on your current job, things will just happen and everything will be magical, that's not true. So to make your dream happen, you have to take action. You have to be comfortable at being uncomfortable. So for example, if you take yourself to a situation where you're gonna give a talk, for example, so when you give a talk, it's something powerful because you have the power of inspire people. You have the power of making them better, making them more knowledgeable. So why not starting in your job, for example? Why not starting giving a talk in your job? So if you are constantly being comfortable at being uncomfortable, you are constantly growing. The danger is when you are at your comfort zone and you don't want to go out of there. When you do that, then you are on your path to obsolescence. So try to bring yourself to uncomfortable situations, because if you do that, then you can achieve powerful things. Have a specific dream. So don't say that you want, I want to become a reference developer. Okay, but what does that mean for you? What is exactly a reference developer? So you have to decide, okay, a reference developer is someone who is going to give talks to top conferences, like, for example, DevOps or Oracle Code One, or, well, there are many others, top conferences, and have a very specific dream. So what's your dream exactly? Do you want to work for Google? Do you want to work for Amazon? Or do you want to become a millionaire? So it's important for you to have a specific dream so that you can think of how you can get there. And if you write down your dreams, that's much better, because we don't think until we take some kind of action and put this, what we are thinking, in a paper, or if we talk about our dreams. So that's very important. When you have a dream, write them down with as much details as you can. You can go very granular. You can say, I want to work on Google. I want to have this X salary. I want to work on, I don't know, Ireland, in Google, and I want to make this X salary, and I want to work with this technology. You can go very granular. You can say even that, I want to have a remote work so that I can work from whatever country I want. And also, don't be afraid of being ambitious. If you want to be a millionaire or a billionaire, or do you want to work in the very best company in the world, be ambitious, because that will motivate you and that will give you insights to get to where you want. The important thing is to write them down. Write your dreams down. It doesn't need to be a perfect plan. It just has to be something that you can rely on. So that's it for now. And guys, if you have any questions, just put in the chat your questions so that I can answer right away, okay? Let's go to the next one. Not take responsibility. So when we blame external factors about our career growth or whatever we are going through in our lives, we are basically giving our power away to someone else or to some external factor. And we are very good at making excuses, right? So when we are not growing in our company, we used to blame our bosses. We say, oh, my boss is terrible. My boss doesn't recognize me. But what are you doing to be recognized? So you have to understand that. And other times we blame our coworkers. We blame anything we can. We blame the government. We blame that we have no time. We always have an excuse. And the problem is that when we have those excuses, we are giving our power to our bosses or to anyone else. But when you stop doing that, when you take control of your career and of your life, then you take the action to become better. Then even if you are not exactly going to a new label in your career, at least you're doing your best to grow yourself. So you don't depend on others to keep on growing. So if you are pissed off about something at your work, you should still do your best. Because if you do your best, then you grow. So you have to think always and focus always on your career. And you should even do your best to companies that you're not happy with. But it doesn't mean that you have to be comfortable there. You can always look for better jobs. You can always look for jobs where you can get a better salary, where you can get happier. You can always look for jobs where things makes more sense for you, where you can bring more value. But it doesn't mean that just because you are sad or you are frustrated in your company, doesn't mean that you should just give up. No, you still do your best until the last day you are in this company. Because if you do that, then you are constantly growing. You are never stopping your growth. And don't complain. When you complain, you become a toxic person. Who likes to be with someone who is always complaining about everything? So if you are around those kind of people, be careful, because you might become a toxic person as well. You might not even realize that you are becoming toxic, because the people we hang out is what we become, right? So if you are hanging out with people who are toxic, who are all the time complaining, if you are hanging out with people who have the scarcity mindset, it doesn't matter which time you're going to become another toxic person. So that's why it's very, very important to pick your friends very carefully. Because when you don't pick your friends, when you hang out with a toxic person, you will become a toxic person. So there is even a research about that. And this is an advice from Warren Buffett and Bill Gates. So they are very powerful advice. You should be always relating yourself with someone who is better than you. Because if you are relating to someone who is better than you, then you will become better just automatically. You don't need to do much, right? And if you are dealing with hanging out with someone who is worse than you, you're going to become worse along with this person. And it's different when you are willing to grow, right? When you are willing to grow, you can relate to people who are better than you in something. And there's even a research made, I don't know if it was from Harvard, it doesn't matter, but there was a research that they found that people who hang out with other people who were overweight, they are around 170%. They have more than 100% of chances to become overweight as well. So if you hang out with lazy people, you're going to become lazy as well. So be careful, pick your friends and your people you hang out with very carefully. And be solution oriented. Don't just complain and say, oh, this doesn't work. Oh, I can't do anything. Oh, I'm powerless. I'm going to give power to this external factor because I can't change that. So instead of complaining and bringing just problems, come with the solution. Think about something you can do to improve the situation. Let's go to the next slide. Not having a mentor. So, sorry, let me go back. So when you don't have a mentor, you grow more slowly, and you don't know exactly where to go. Sometimes you are confused. You don't know exactly what actions you should take to go to the next level in your career. And then if you find a mentor who already got what you want, you're gonna grow massively faster. I can tell you my example. I had a mentor and I was having a really low salary. I wasn't growing in my career. I didn't know exactly what to do. And then when I started this mentorship, so my vision expanded massively and I could learn a lot. And my career went sky high because the wisdom of a mentor is massive, right? I can learn so much. And my vision was so small at that time. And I could just grow so quickly by having a mentor. So it's a powerful thing to do. And if you can think about history, the very best in the world also had mentors. Like Bill Gates had Warren Buffett as a mentor, for example. Da Vinci also had a mentor. I don't remember his name though. But all of those guys that made history, they had mentors. So it's something that repeats again and again in history. Like I said, my vision expanded massively when I had my mentor. And this knowledge, this experience is priceless. And you also grow exponentially. It's not a very simple growth. It's like a growth like that transforms your life. So it's really powerful. You gain a lot of wisdom and you grow a lot. Not caring about your health. So what's the problem of not caring about your health? So if we don't care about our health, what happens is that we're going to feel tired very often. We're going to be tired for nothing. Like during the day, we're going to be saying all the time, oh, I'm tired. I have a low level of energy. And then your mood goes down. And you don't know what exactly is happening. It's because we need to do exercises. We need to have a good nutrition. We don't need to have a perfect nutrition, but good enough nutrition that would help a lot. So, for example, you can try out intermittent fasting. That's a great technique that you can try out. Yeah, you can drink more water. You can drink 2 liters of water every day, at least 2 liters. And you can eat more fruits, you can eat more vegetables. And if you avoid junky food, that's a big win. I would recommend everyone to have at maximum 3 times a week junky food. If you have more than that, then you are taking your health to a low level. So be careful with junky food because they are terrible for our health. And do exercises. Exercises are very powerful. It releases BDNF, that is a substance that makes our neural connections stronger, which helps us for learning things more quickly and makes us sharper as software engineers. So if you are doing exercises, then you are able to remember things more quickly. You are able to code with more accuracy, and you become a better learner. And if we are a better learner, that's a huge win for our career, right? Because we have to be learning all the time as software engineers. So that's a game changer. If you do exercises, you become sharper, you become better as a software engineer. And also, as a byproduct, you become fit. and your confidence level will also raise. So that's amazing. It's just win-win in everything. If you do exercises, you take your life quality to another whole level. I know that there will be days that you won't really want to do exercises, but when you push yourself to do the exercise anyway, it's when the game changes, because when you do that, then you work on your discipline muscle. And if you really have a powerful discipline muscle, you can do whatever you want in life, because discipline overpowers, for example, even intelligence. And energy is even more valuable nowadays, because it doesn't matter if you are very intelligent, very smart, but if you don't have energy, you won't do anything with this intelligence, right? So energy and your how sharp you are as a software developer, those things will help you a lot. So do exercise. You don't need to do exercise that you find boring. For example, what I do, I'm doing exercise at home now since the gym is closed, but I still can do that. I use resistance bands so that I can do resistance exercises. I also do aerobic exercises every day in the morning so that I can raise my BDNF levels. You can even search for that. I can write it down here, BDNF. You can check this out. So I'm installing this habit in my life because I know that this is very powerful. I know that I can achieve a lot more if I do exercises first thing in the morning. And that's my habit that I have currently. So I do every day 20 minutes of intense aerobic exercises so that I can take my BDNF levels to another whole level, of course. And another benefit of doing exercise is that by doing exercise, you reduce your cortisol hormone, that is the fear hormone. And when you have this fear hormone very high, you don't take action. You live your life thinking, oh, I might be fired today. Or I don't know, you might have any kind of fear, because we have a lot of fears, right? But when you do exercises during the morning, then you can reduce your cortisol level and you can have less stress. You can lift up your mood, and then you can bring more value. You can be a sharper developer. So those are things that cause a big impact. I know that some days you're gonna feel really tired and you won't be willing to do the exercise. Well, for me, this also happens. There are some days that I don't really want to do the exercise, but I force myself to do it anyway. So for you to go to the next level, you have to do the things that sometimes won't be pleasurable for you. I know that this is something that is not difficult, is not easy to take, but the difference between very successful people and people who don't have a high level of success is that successful people do the thing they need to do even if they don't feel like it. I know this is very hard. I know that you have to fight against yourself during those days, but if you can do that, then you can take your discipline level to another level, so that you can become better. Let's go to the next mistake: not tracking your goals. So, what is the problem of not tracking down your goals? When we don't track down our goals, we don't know the progress we are having. Therefore, we are far more likely to get frustrated very quickly. So, for example, we might do a lot of things. We might start writing a book, and then we write it, and then it seems that we're not having any progress at all. What happens is that we're going to give up in the middle of the way, right? So that's why it's very important to track down your goals and to know how much time you're going to take to, for example, finish a book, or to finish an article, or to finish whatever project you want. So if you have it doesn't have to be a very complex plan, but if you have something you can rely on to achieve your goals, then you're far more likely to finish that. And one very important mindset that I always say is to be a finisher. Once you start something, you have to finish that. Otherwise, if you start something and you don't finish that, you're going to be telling your subconscious mind that, oh, I start everything and I never finish what I started. And that's the danger. When you start something and you don't finish, you lose confidence on yourself, and then you can't achieve much. So that's why it's so important to, whenever you start something, go to the end and finish that. So one thing that's powerful here is Pomodoro. I use this technique. It's powerful. It's amazing because whenever I use Pomodoro, I don't look at my notifications. I don't look at any distraction. I just focus on my work. So if I'm writing an article, if I'm writing a book, it's total focus at my work. And you can use the same technique I'm using. Pomodoro is very powerful, very simple idea. It's basically a timer where you are supposed to work fully focused. And then, for example, you can set a timer of 25 minutes or 30 minutes, 60 minutes or 90 minutes, whatever works for you. And then when you do that, then you can get things done. Then you can see progress. You can use Trello if you like Kanban, for example. You can create your tasks, your weekly tasks. You can use Whiteboard, which is a physical whiteboard you can put on your wall. It's great if you are more of a physical person. If you like things to be more physical on your room, you can have a whiteboard. You can also use Google CSV Sheets. This is what I'm currently using for my weekly goals, so that I can get things done and I can make sure of all the things that I'm doing and I can see them completed. And when you track down your goals, what happens is that you're gonna get your goals done consistently. So when you see your goals getting done consistently, that's amazing. That's an amazing power that you release for yourself, because when you see your goals getting done consistently, then a magical thing happens. You gain a lot of confidence in yourself. And when you get a lot of confidence, then you are able to achieve bigger and bigger things. Then you can take actions to do more powerful things, and you can generate more value, and you can take your income level to another whole level. So you can do a lot. Let's go to the next mistake. Lack of focus. When we have too many plans, we end up doing anything, right? So when we try to learn all technologies, for example, we don't know exactly what to do, and we don't know even where to start, right? So instead of trying to learn and embrace the world, focus on something, focus on a problem that you can solve, focus on a problem that you can that you can solve on your company, for example. I'm sure that in your company nowadays, there are a lot of serious problems that you can help them if you focus on this thing that you can bring more value to your company. Or if you want to share your knowledge, like I said before to Maximilian, you can, for example, focus on the security problem. You want to make Java applications more secure, or you can focus on the problem of bugs on companies, and you want to solve and create high quality code on the project. And you can also learn the just-in-time technique learning, so that you don't need to learn everything ahead of time, because it's also impossible to know everything ahead of time, right? So instead of trying to know everything ahead of time, you can use the just-in-time learning technique, which is basically, for example, your ability to learn something to solve a specific problem. And to be able to do that more powerfully, you can learn fundamentals, because when you know about fundamentals, then you are able to learn new things far more quickly, because if you know the fundamentals, you know exactly what that tool will do, right? So if you know what's happening behind the scenes, you will know exactly how to adapt more quickly. You will know exactly how to learn that technology more quickly. Therefore, you're going to be a more effective software engineer. Okay, let's go to the next mistake. Oh, by the way, there is a special gift for you. So if you stay until the end of this talk, I'm going to give this gift for you. Okay, not work hard and not work smart. So when you work only hard, you might be wasting your time, because let's suppose you want to learn blockchain, but this knowledge of blockchain won't really do anything in your life. Have even another example. I was talking to a friend, and my friend told me, "Oh, I'm learning German." And then I asked this friend, "Oh, but why are you learning German?" "Oh, because I want to learn German." So we have to be careful with that when we don't have an answer of why we are learning this thing. So because it might be really useless, you might be throwing your time in the trash bin. So instead of doing that, why not learn something that will bring value and will bring impact to your life? That would be much better, right? At least in my point of view, yes, because then I can do something with this knowledge. I won't just have this knowledge for just to tell people, "Oh, I know German," or "I know whatever language." It's the same. It's very useless, at least in my point of view. So instead, try to focus your time in something that will bring you value. So, for example, if you want to learn English to work abroad, that's amazing, because you want to learn English so that you can work abroad, so that you can work on Europe or the USA or Australia or New Zealand, whatever country you want to work. Then that makes sense, right? Or, for example, if you want to learn German so that you can work on Germany, then that makes sense, right? It depends on your objective. It depends on what you want to achieve. So, because our time is our most valuable asset, and if we use our time in a wisest way, we will get really low results or no results at all. We won't be able to bring value to the world, right? So that's one example of working on is hard. You can work very hard to learn blockchain and learn German, but then it's a waste, because you won't use that for anything. And work on smart. It doesn't matter as well. Let's suppose you create a perfect article. Let's suppose you start writing a book in a very powerful way. You write everything right, and you know that's the right book for you. You know that this book will bring massive impact to software engineers. But if you do that just once a while, it won't matter, because you will never finish this book. So if you work smart, but you only work smart, it won't take you much longer, much farther. So instead, you should work smart and hard, because if you can work on the right thing, and if you can work hard, when I say hard, I mean consistently. For example, if you decide to work on your book, on your article, on your project every day, 30 minutes, for example, then you will be able to finish this project. But if you write your book only one day a week, and then in the next week you don't write this book, and then you wait another week, and then you write a little bit more, then you stop, then it will be all useless. So that's why I say that discipline is the key to have big level of success, because without discipline, you'll never be able to write a book. So that's why we have to develop discipline. And discipline is not something that the person has or not have. You can develop that. So there is the concept of discipline muscle. So if for you doing 30 minutes something is very difficult, you can start with 10 minutes. You do 10 minutes, something that you want. You can write a book, you can write an article, you can do whatever you want. You can study. So if you mix work smart and hard, then you can achieve big things. So that's the power of work smart and hard. And you see, guys, everything is connected. All those points I'm passing on to you, they are all connected. So working hard and smart are deeply connected to consistency and discipline. And those two factors are also crucial if you want to get high level of success, right? So let's continue. Not optimize your time. Oh, we have so much dead time, right? Sometimes we clean the house and we don't do anything with this time. Or sometimes you commute to work, not nowadays because of the COVID, but back in the days when we could go to commute to our jobs, we had to go, right? And we would spend around 1 hour and a half every day, or maybe more than that, like 2 hours a day. And imagine if you can multiply these 2 hours a day throughout the whole year, you would be wasting a lot of time. So why not convert all this wasted time in learning time, so that you can have a highly high quality education while you are commuting, or while you are cleaning your house, or while you're washing the dishes, or while you're doing anything that you don't have to use a lot of brain power. For example, when I do exercises, I listen to an audiobook, I listen to a podcast, I listen to something that will bring me value. And you can do the exact same thing as I'm doing, right? So you can check it out, the audible.com. Like I think you pay 20 euro per month. If you are in Brazil, you pay around 60 reais or something like this. But the value you get is massive, because you have this whole power of amazing books that you have, that you can just listen. And remember, guys, don't focus on the cost. Focus on the value you're gonna get. So by listening to several books, the value you're gonna get is massive. You're gonna be learning a lot. Your vision will expand massively as well. So that's a massive value to a low cost. And I think Amazon does that very well. They offer their products and they bring you, well, 10 times more value than the cost, right? Because if you are listening to the right book in the right time of your career, it will be a game changer. Because with this knowledge, you can put in practice, and then you can take your life to another whole level. You can listen to podcasts as well, and you can always sometimes use your money to optimize your time. So let's suppose you have to work on a project and you don't have really time to clean your house or do anything else. You can pay someone else to clean your house, right? Or let's suppose you don't have time to edit your video if you are creating courses, or if you are creating anything else. You can pay someone to edit your video. And then if you start doing that, then you can optimize your time. So that's just another way you can optimize your time. Not using deliberate practicing. So when you don't use deliberate practicing, you can't go to a very high level in technology. So I've been using deliberate practicing for a long time to share my knowledge, for example, on the internet, or to write the Java challenges, for example. So I wrote more than 100 Java challenges, and I got better. The more I've done the Java challenges, the more I improved. And that's the idea of deliberate practicing. You do the work in a deliberate way where you will improve and will get better. And you can use this technique for example, typing, because if we think straight, we use our typing skills all the time, right? So we are using our typing skills to write emails, to write messages, to write our code, and to write anything we need. And if we still look at the keyboard to type, we are losing a lot of time. So instead of looking at your keyboard, why not having a course or having a routine where you can learn more about typing? So you can, for example, go to a website I really like. It's the Typing Club website. You can check on Google, you can look on Google. And then you can improve your typing skills. I started this exercise around 2 years ago, and this already saved me tons of time. So it's something that you can apply the deliberate practicing technique. And one thing that's key is the consistency. So if you're not consistent on your practice, then you can't improve. So you can even use your deliberate practicing technique with open source projects. You can learn, you can get better on your ability to read code, because as software developers, we read code all the time, right? And we have to understand sometimes very confusing code that was badly written. So the ability of reading code is something very valuable for us. Let's go to the next point. Not taking action. So what's the problem of not taking action? No idea works unless you do the work. So if you don't take any action from all those mistakes I told you here, all my talk will be useless. So what I recommend you is to take those points from this webinar and take action, do the work. Because if you do the work, then things will change. If you only have the knowledge, but you don't do anything with this knowledge, it's the same as nothing. So it doesn't matter the knowledge you have. Knowledge is only power if you use it for something. If you have only knowledge and you don't do anything with this knowledge, it's not power. It's just something that is in your mind that will never be used. So we have to use our knowledge to something useful. Otherwise, it's totally useless. So take strategic action towards your objectives. Because if you take actions that you don't know exactly what you are doing, then you won't get a lot of results. And of course, guys, you don't need to take the perfect action. So you can try your best strategy in the beginning. Because when you start doing something, it's powerful. When you start doing something, powerful things happen for you. And I know that in the beginning, you won't have the perfect plan, but you have to have at least something that you can get started. Sometimes you're going to have challenges in life that you won't feel prepared. Well, I have challenges in my life that I don't really feel prepared. I don't feel fully prepared, but even still, I face it and I do it. And I think that's the right attitude. If you want to go to the next level in your career and in your life, you want to face your fears. And when you do something that you don't feel prepared, and even still you go there and you do that, then you take your confidence to another whole level, because then you show to yourself that you can really do whatever you want. So by only facing your fears, you can get far more confident and far more powerful, and you can get your income, of course, to another whole level. Another lesson that I learned in my life is that it's far more risky to not take any risk. What does that mean? It means that if you are only, for example, in your company and you think you are comfortable there and that nothing will happen to you in your company, you might be wrong, because the company you are working might go bankrupt, or they might simply decide in the next day, they might say, oh, I don't need you anymore, bye. And then what you're gonna do? So that's why we have to be always preparing ourselves to be comfortable at being uncomfortable. Because when we are in that position of learning new things, of doing new things, of having our mind opened to new ideas, then we grow. But when we start closing our mind, when we start not taking any risk, when we are afraid of making mistakes, we don't do like much. So that's the danger. When you are in your comfort zone, you feel this false sense of security, but there are no security. The security, actually, there is a security. The security relies on your ability to be adaptable, your ability to grow, your ability to be comfortable at being uncomfortable. When you get used to those things, when you get used to be constantly growing no matter what, then that's the real sense of secure. So if you can really do that and be adaptable to intense situations, then you can grow to another whole level, and then you can bring a big impact to other people's lives. Okay, so take action is very important, because with no action, nothing will happen. Okay, so let's recap. So we talked about the danger of not having a big dream, because when we don't have a big dream, we don't believe in ourselves, and we don't take any action. And about not taking responsibility. So when you don't take responsibility, we blame others, therefore we can't do anything. So that's the danger. So we should be always responsible, and so that we can do something to improve our situations. Not having a mentor, because if we don't have a mentor, we grow slowly, and we don't progress in the speed that is exponential, for example. Not caring about our health. So when we don't care about our health, we don't have a good level of energy, and we are usually in a low mood, and we are out of shape. So caring about our health is very important, because we will lift our mood, and a lot of good things will happen just automatically. Lack of focus. When we don't have focus, we tend to try to do everything, and then very easily we get demotivated and we do nothing. Not tracking our goals. When we don't track our goals, we don't see progress, therefore we get frustrated very easily. So instead, we should track our goals. We should use techniques. We should use Pomodoro, for example. It's a very powerful and simple technique that works. Not work smart and hard, because if you work only smart, and if you do one amazing thing once a year, it doesn't matter. You have to be consistent. You have to do the right thing in a consistent way, so that you improve your discipline muscle and you become better. Not optimizing your time. If you are not optimizing your time, you are wasting a lot of your most precious assets, that is your time. So instead of just throwing away your time, you can listen to an audiobook, you can listen to a podcast, you can do a lot of amazing things. Not using the limited practice technique. We know that we don't learn technology overnight. It takes time until we learn something, because to tell you the truth, we only learn when we are sleeping. So that's right. There are researches made, and they found that we actually learn when we sleep. So that's why it's so important to have a good night of sleep, because if we don't sleep well, we don't learn what we practiced. So that's why it's so important to be consistent, because if you are learning something new, you have to sleep, and then you have to absorb the knowledge. and not taking action. If you don't take action, it doesn't matter. Everything I told you will be useless. So take action. You can start with something small. You don't need to start with something big here that I told you. But for example, you can go to your health and you can say to yourself, okay, in my health, I'm going to start drinking water. I'm going to start drinking 1 liter. And I'm going to start eating a fruit every day. For example, if you're not tracking your goals, maybe you can do 5 minutes Pomodoro a day. And then you can start bit by bit. Then you're going to build your habits. Then when you install powerful habits in your life, then you can change the game completely. You can study, you can write books, you can write articles, you can create courses, you can do whatever you want. So that's it, guys. I'm going to give you also this gift. If you don't have the low-hanging Java Challenges book, I'm going to put the link for you there. And then you can download it. Yes, guys, the most important thing, George is saying that he needs to take action. The most important thing, George, is to take action. Otherwise, no idea works unless we do the work. We have to do the work. But also don't get scared, guys, because you don't need to start doing 1 hour work every day. You can start small. You start small, you do something small, and then with time, you expand your habits and you make them bigger. But the important thing is to get started with something, right? I also have an offer for you guys here. So I'm going to be running the Challenger Developer Workshop in the next Saturday. So this session is going to be a special session where we're going to be doing some exercises, for example, to provide clarity for you so that you can learn what you can do to go to the next level of your career. So they are powerful exercises. Like it won't be only theoretical. So we're gonna take action to build your weekly plan, for example. So the weekly plan is something I do. So I plan my week ahead of time so that I can take action and I can get things done. For example, I put in my weekly plan that I would give a webinar last Wednesday and today, and I'm getting it done now. So it's very powerful to have your weekly plan, because when you have your weekly plan, you know exactly what you have to do during the week. So, and I plan out my whole week. I plan out when I'm writing an article, when I'm writing my book. I plan out my study hours, my study time. So I plan out everything so that I can get everything done. And you know what? When I get things done, my confidence level increases, and then I can get more powerful things done. And you can do the same. If I done that, you can do the same, right? So I'm sharing the link of the Challenger Developer Workshop on the chat. And feel free to ask your questions, guys. If you have any questions about any topic we discussed in the webinar, feel free to ask your question so that I can help you with your questions. So the Challenger Developer Workshop, what you're going to get in the Challenger Developer Workshop. So you're going to get a one-to-one conversation about your career with me, so that we can define a path where you can get stunning results, so that we can elaborate actions you can take to take your career to another whole level. So it's a conversation where we go very granular, where lies your objectives and what exactly you want to achieve in your career. So it's a clarity conversation where I'm going to help you to overcome your career challenges. You're going to also be getting the Golden Lessons book. So the Golden Lessons book is a very powerful book where I gathered all the information I got from all the books I read and all the experience that I got during my career and in my life. And I'm sharing those lessons. It's 100 golden lessons that I'm sharing in this book. I worked in this book for more than 2 years. and there's a lot of work that I put in this book to make it available for you guys. And we're gonna be also doing the workshop, of course. So you would be paying around, if you weren't here until the end of this webinar, more than almost 200 euro. But as you are in this webinar, it will be all only for 10 euro. So you can go to this link. It's a PayPal link. You can do the investment of 10 euro. And then you can join me the next Saturday at 2 p.m. London time. At the same time of today, of this webinar, I'm going to be running the workshop. And this workshop is exclusive. And it's an amazing opportunity. It's just symbolic investment, right? 10 euro. Like, it's a very low price for the value I'm giving to you with this workshop. And this workshop is very powerful because you do things. You don't just listen. So you do things, you create your weekly plan, you improve your CV, you learn some negotiation techniques so that you can get a better salary in your next company or even in your current company. You learn how to give talks. For example, if giving talks is one objective of yours, you learn that as well. I can give you, I can talk about my experience, how I've done to start giving talks. So there is a lot of content, a lot of meaningful and valuable content for you. I won't be just giving content for you. It's something that you can really use it in your career to go to the next level. So that's it. Only 10 euro to get massive value. It's gonna be the same time of today, the next Saturday. So guys, do you have any questions related to about the workshop or related to the webinar topic or any career challenge you have? If you have any questions, just send here on the chat so that we can discuss that. So, okay, Pim said here that he's doing already some open source libraries. That's amazing. That's a great thing, guys, that you can do to take your career level to higher. So contributing to open source libraries can get you an amazing job, for example. And it's also a great exercise for you to become a better software engineer, because if you are very often reading code from an open source project, you will learn a lot from very good software developers. Okay, Himanshu, he also asks here, can you put some light on technical path for 9 years experience and how to move up from here in technical area? So Himanshu, one thing that I can let you know about that, like if you have more than 9 years, you certainly have a lot to share, right? So one thing that I would recommend you is to start sharing your knowledge, because when you start sharing your knowledge, what happens is that companies will trust in you, and companies will call you to an opportunity even before they publish the opportunity on the internet. So it's a very powerful move for you to share your knowledge, because when you share your knowledge, well, the first thing is that you learn what you are sharing much better. You help others, and you get the best opportunity in the market. I know that giving talks is something that makes people very afraid and scared. According to researchers, giving talks is the number one fear of every people, but it's totally worth it. When you start doing that, you see that it's not the big monster you were thinking, firstly, and the more you give talks, the better you become. So I recommend you to give talks to, like, if you never gave a talk, maybe you can give a talk to a friend of yours, then you can give a talk at your job, for example, then you can grow bit by bit. Then by doing that, then you can install this habit, and then you can become a better speaker. But start small. So what I would recommend you, Rimanshu, is to share your knowledge, write articles, write blog posts, start sharing your knowledge. That will take your career to another whole level. And of course, I will be talking about that in the workshop. So you can join the workshop as well. Okay, StackTrace says that he's going to reflect on that. Pim says that he's technical. Okay, the last question I answered, that was the question from George. Yeah, so I told him. Okay, the Maximilian question, I also answered his question. Is there any other question? Oh, thanks, George. You said that's awesome. Thanks a lot for that. So, George, you said that you need to take actions. So why are you not taking actions exactly? Are you struggling with something? If you want, we can discuss that quickly. And guys, ask your questions. Make your questions so that we can work on them. And also you can get the workshop. I'm sharing the link again. It's only it's a symbolic investment. It's only 10 euro. Like I said, it's a massive value for what I'm offering to you. So it's going to be around a 3 hours workshop. So it's going to be something that you're going to take actions. And you're going to build clarity of what you need to achieve in your career. And so that you can have a massive growth. So you have this opportunity now. You can either scan this QR code, or you can access this link sent to you on the chat. And even if you can't do the investment now, maybe you can do that. Okay, George says here, I feel overwhelmed with stuff to do. Also, I have another goal in the near future to move my own apartment. Okay, that's a great thing. Okay, George. So probably you're feeling overwhelmed because maybe you are focusing on too many things. So what I recommend you is to do one thing, bit by bit. Try to focus on smaller things, because you can even use some analogy with empires. Empires are not built overnight, right? They are built brick by brick. So, for example, if you do one small thing and you do that consistently, let's suppose you want to learn something, then you can reserve 30 minutes of your day, only 30 minutes. And then you can use the Pomodoro technique, and then you can learn whatever content you want to learn these 30 minutes. And if you do that every day, it's going to make a huge difference in your life. So the reason you feel overwhelmed is because the first thing, you don't have a focus, maybe. For now, you're trying to do too many things, and you're not being consistent. I know that sometimes to be consistent will be difficult, but if you decide to yourself, okay, I'm gonna create, for example, a blog post every 30 minutes every day, then I can then you will get things done. But you have to do that bit by bit. You don't want to try to do one big thing in just one day. And that's the same analogy when we go to the gym, right? If we go to the gym and if we do a lot of exercise and we really push ourselves to over our limits, what's going to happen? Nothing, right? So we won't grow. We will just waste our time. So that's why consistency is far more powerful than doing a lot of work once a while. So if you, so the first step for you, George, is to get clarity. So if you get clarity, if you know exactly what you want to do, then you can take the actions necessary to get to where you want. So you can, for example, decide that you're gonna study like every day 10 minutes. Like if you feel that 30 minutes is too much for you, you start with 10 minutes. But don't try to solve all of your problems in one day, because that's not possible. What will change your life is the habits you can install and how effectively you can perform your habits. So if you decide, for example, that you're going to study every day 10 minutes, that's a huge win. Why? That's because you're going to be taking your confidence level much higher, right? Because if you decided something and you could accomplish that, then you gain your confidence, and then maybe in the next week you're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna raise from 10 minutes to 20 minutes, and then you accomplish that again. Then you feel more confident, then you say, okay, now from 20 minutes I can go to 30 minutes, and then you can study whatever technology you want, or you can work on whatever project you want, and then you're far more likely to not procrastinate. So that's a very good trick for you. And you can use this technique with Pomodoro, for example. Awesome. Jason also has a question. I don't have a lot of practice in new versions of Java, and I don't know which technologies I have to focus. So Jason, one way you can improve in the new Java features, for example, well, there are a lot of Java challenges where I presented the new Java concepts. You can take a look at it in the Java Challengers website, for example, or maybe you can take a look at the JDK documentation. You can check what are the newest features. But regarding your focus, you don't know what to focus on, maybe you can get started focusing on something that you can help more in your current company. So for example, if your company needs someone who is very good with performance issues, maybe you can study, you can focus on that. You can be the performance guy. You can be the one who will solve performance problems to your company. First, analyze what's the biggest problem that from the company you're working for. You can get started with that. And who knows, you might even like your focus. And then you can create a very successful career from your focus. So if you solve a problem that is something that's very real in many companies, that is performance, you're gonna be highly successful with this focus. So I recommend you to start focusing on something that will bring the value to the company you're working for. Okay, George also says here, I used to be like that a while ago, but after the pandemic, some things I changed. I need to get back to that schedule. Yeah, George, so it's very dangerous when we stop doing the things that we firstly decided, because then we lose confidence in ourselves, and then we take the risk of not ever doing what we were doing before. So always try to do what you decided to do. So again, this doesn't mean that you can't get some time to rest. Resting is also very important. I would even recommend everyone to take at least one day off, like that you don't do any work, so that you can recover and recharge your energy, so that you can do more in the next week, for example. Because if you do like a lot from Monday to Monday, what might happen is that you might you might have a burnout, and then it's going to be difficult to recover yourself. So I recommend you guys have at least one day off, have 1 month vacation, because on those times, awesome, yeah. Sunday is the day off from George. Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, so that's really important, because we have to recharge. Otherwise, we do, and then we feel overwhelmed. We feel like that we can't get anything else done. So very important. Get at least 1 day off, 2 days off if you want. But in the days that you are working, do intense work so that you can get amazing things done. Remember, guys, work is not related to time. Work is related to how much you can produce, because that's the real value, right? If you are only working just for to put some hours there, it doesn't matter. It matters how much you produced, how much you can deliver, how much value you can generate, right? So that's why I mention and I emphasize that focus is very important. If you don't have focus, maybe you spend the whole day looking through the screen and do nothing. So it's far more valuable to have a high intense focus and do something that you're going to generate value, instead of just spending hours and doing nothing. And that's another good reason to have a day off and really recharge your energy. You can do meditation, you can go to walk in nature, you can do a massage. That's amazing to recover your energies, because when we do massage, we get more energized to get more things done. Remember that you might think, oh, massage is very expensive. And I always say focus on the value instead of focusing on the cost. Because if you focus on the value, for example, if you get a massage done, I know that might be a little bit expensive, but if you get the massage done, your level of energy will go sky high. And then you can get more things done. Therefore, your level of income will go higher. Your level of motivation will go higher. So there are several benefits of getting a massage, for example. And you can, your cortisol level, hormone will go down. So the cortisol, fear hormone will block you to achieve amazing things. So it's a massive value to get your cortisol level down. Okay, Jason also asks here, now after you leave your life, I can feel more confident to organize myself and improve my career. Awesome. I'm really happy to know that, Jason. And if you want to be even more, if you want to get even more value, feel free to join the workshop. I can help you even more there. Because there, we can, for example, work on your weekly goals. You can show me your weekly goals. You can talk directly to me, which is great, because you're going to feel uncomfortable, because it's going to be more interactive. You're going to be talking not only to me, but the whole workshop group. And then this is powerful, because when you are uncomfortable, you are growing, right? So the more you put yourself in uncomfortable situations, the more you grow. And the more you grow, the more your income level increases, the better you become, and the stronger you become to face career challenges. So guys, if you have any more questions, just send your questions here. You made amazing questions. Jason, George, Pim, Stack Trace, Himanshu, Maximilian, who else? Okay. So guys, I recommend you to join the workshop. And do you have any other questions? We have time for one more question. If you want to ask one last question, feel free to do it now, so that we can address this last question. And if you didn't enroll in the workshop, you can enroll now. It's a PayPal link. And you can just do the investment. And once you do that, you're going to be in the workshop the next week. I'm going to send you an email with all the details about the workshop. And then we can meet on the next Saturday at the same time of today. So, okay, I don't see any other questions. So, George, Jason, any other questions? If you don't have any other questions, maybe it's time to close the session for today. But thanks a lot, guys, for participating in this webinar. I'm really happy to see you here and to see that you want to go to the next level in your career. Okay, awesome. Thanks, George, for your presence here. Highly appreciate. Okay, and answers. George says, and answers. So what do you mean, and answers? Thanks, Pim. Thanks, Stack Trace. And guys, remember, you can join the workshop so that I can help you even more. And it's a symbolic price. It's just €10. And we're going to receive a lot more value. So what I want to do to you guys is to offer a small price so that I can deliver you massive value. And so that's it, guys. I want to help you, and you can join the workshop. I can send the link again if you didn't get the link. You can access this link, and then you can do the investment, and then automatically you're going to be in the workshop. It will be in the next Saturday at 2 p.m. at the same time of this webinar. Okay? So guys, thanks a lot. Thanks, Pim. Thanks, TechTrace. Thanks, Silvestre. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Jason. Thanks, George. And thanks, Sirani. Thanks, Shinaka. Thanks, Himanshu. Thanks, Pawan. Thanks, everyone. I hope you have a great Saturday. Enjoy your weekend. Take some rest. Get work done. Take the actions. Remember, you don't need to take a massive action. Start with something small so that you can develop your discipline muscle, and then you can grow bit by bit and you can become better. Okay? So thanks a lot, guys. It's amazing that you are using this time of your Saturday to improve your career. That will make a great difference. Okay? So that's it, guys. See you in the workshop for those who will participate in the workshop. And there will be another webinar, the last webinar on next Wednesday. Okay? So stay tuned for more and see you the next time, guys. Bye.